So I just recently finished Cowboy Bebop and OMG. It is one of the single greatest pieces of media and art that I have ever consumed. I even tweeted about it, so you know it's real. And it's honestly, it's the most charming, it's the most exciting, chill, sad, amazing, everything. I absolutely fell in love with it. But before I continue onward about the episode I want to discuss, I need to tell you a little story.
Earth log, day 5110. I finished up sledding with my dudes, and my boots are wet and covered in half-melted snow. I'm gonna put my boots back in this nasty garbage bag I lugged them here with. You know, I'm just gonna leave this crusty bag on the floor and put away my boots later. Earth log, day 5115. My boots are still sitting in that bag. Yeah, maybe I should put them away. Earth log, day 5123. My mom yelled at me, told me I need to clean up my boots. Fine. Guess I should open up that bag. What? That smell. Wait. What is this?
Oh man. Thank you for humoring me. I wanted to do something cute, you know, just wanted to do something a little bit different with the format. But the TLDR of this story is when I was a freaking dumb 14-year-old kid, I went sledding with my friends, and I left my wet boots in this garbage bag for like 2 weeks on my bedroom floor. And when my mom finally made me clean up my mess, I was met with the inevitable surprise of nasty smelling, overpowering mold on my boots. Ugh, I never saw those boots again. So now that we have that story out of the way, let me tell you about the scariest episode of Cowboy Bebop, Toys in the Attic. Now, for those who have seen this show, I think we can all agree that every episode of this show is gold. I mean, we got Speak Like a Child, Mushroom Samba, Ballad of Fallen Angels, and some might even say that Pierre Le Fou is the scariest episode of Cowboy Bebop. I hope I said that right. I really apologize if I botched that. But watching Toys in the Attic for the first time, it actually had me on the edge of my seat. So to recap, here's what the episode's about. The crew of the Bebop are in dire straits, per usual. They have no food left, and everyone is hungrily waiting for the Bebop's arrival to Mars. However, amidst the hunger, an unknown creature is biting and infecting the members of the crew. One by one, the members of the crew are picked off, and only Spike is left to fend off whatever is terrorizing the ship. This all sounds pretty standard sci-fi horror, right? And that's true, but it is so well done in this episode, and again, it left me in an anxious wreck. The very first shot of this episode is from the point of view of the creature chasing down a rat. These POV shots switch back and forth between the crew and the creature, allowing the audience to imagine what could be lurking in the shadows. The best horror tends to not show what the threat is, and this episode does it in spades. And the tension is allowed to grow, and grow it does, let me tell ya. So, in the beginning of the episode, Jet goes up to the attic of the ship, and upon entering the attic, Jet sees a fridge that he doesn't remember, and as he approaches the fridge, the shot cuts back to the POV from the creature. From there, an alarm is sounded, and Spike and Faye go up to check up on Jet. He exclaims that he's been bitten by something, and he feels off, he feels sick. And Spike and Faye, after that, notice a rat, and they play it down to just being some not-so-serious rat bite. However, in the subsequent scene, Jet passes out, and we see an oozing purple wound on his neck. And this cycle of tension just continues throughout the episode. First, there's misdirection. The tension is still there, but it's lightened a bit. Then, there's execution, and the tension increases even more. Faye is in the tub. Liquid drops from the ceiling. Nothing happens. Tension lightens a bit, right? Faye passes out in front of Spike with an oozing wound on her leg. More tension is there than there was before the misdirection of the liquid falling from the ceiling. And this whole episode is just this whiplash of teases and scares, and it's so cool. I love it so much. One of my favorite moments like this from the episode is when Spike discovers that Ein has been infected by the creature. Tension builds as Spike discovers Ein's wound, and it almost tips over as the creature chases Spike down the hall. Oh, whoops, just kidding. Spike falls down and the scene transitions. And this constant whiplash keeps you on your toes without exhausting the viewer. It's got that tension and it's got that release. And then it continues again and again to greater effect. It's all over the episode, from the rat with Jet to the transitional shot I just mentioned, and this dripping liquid from the pipes as Spike is looking for the creature. And to continue this juxtaposition, we have some well-placed humor throughout this episode as well. This balance is just incredible. It's mwah, I love it. It's tasty. But it's not only the, tension cycle that makes this episode scary, but there's more to it than just that. Seeing the crew get picked off one by one is it's actually insane. I remember watching this for the first time and being genuinely concerned. I think this episode falls somewhere like halfway through the series. And I didn't totally understand the format of the show at that time, and I really thought we were going to lose some of these beloved characters in this episode. And the music is just chilling. It's quite the departure from the upbeat funk and jazz that we've seen and heard throughout the show. But now, let's get a little bit more personal, shall we? Although this video is titled The Scariest Episode of Cowboy Bebop, maybe it actually should have been titled Holy Shiz, this episode from the hit show Cowboy Bebop actually terrified me, Daniel, and here's why. My name's Daniel, by the way, and nice to meet you guys. And the reason why maybe the video should have been titled this more personal title is because nothing creeps me out more than moldy food or moldy boots. Yeah, you remember that story I told you at the beginning of this video? Well, that experience traumatized me as a 14-year-old kid, and this episode brought me back to that experience in a hellfire of PTSD. So, spoilers, the twist of this episode is that the monster either is or came from the leftovers of some food that Spike left in the fridge in the attic over a year ago. I can't even describe how much I hate this concept. My wife and I find ourselves throwing out leftovers maybe a little bit more early than necessary in order to avoid even a smidge of moldy food. Just the very thought of a living organism mutating and dwelling on my food, the stuff I insert into my mouth and into my body, it's nightmarish, it's unpleasant, and it's just horrible. And this is the very monster terrorizing the crew of the Bebop. Need I say more? Do I need to explain why this is so scary to me? Of course, Pierre Le Fou is a dreadful episode, but I would much rather be chased by some murderous psychopath than my leftover bisque. it just dives into this cosmic horror that I am totally fascinated and petrified by. I can't even comprehend it. It's evil, it's disgusting, and I genuinely fear it. Just this very shot, it's reminiscent of the very imagery that cosmic horror conjures, like from The Thing or Bloodborne or the mind of H.P. Lovecraft. This episode plays out like the stupid boots that I left in my garbage bag, or the freaking burrito that you left under your bed. The crew, they act so careless towards it at first, yet it is always there, creeping and lurking in the shadows, and it will eventually kill them. And that's why this is the scariest episode of Cowboy Bebop, for me, at least. I hate mold. I can't stress that enough. And I'll just leave our good friend Spike to, leave you with the lesson that I hope you learned from this, this stupid YouTube video. Thanks for watching, everybody.
So that's the story. And what was the real lesson? Don't leave things in the fridge.
Hey folks, thank you guys so much for watching this video. It's my longest one yet. There we go, guys, making some progress. And I think we're at above 700 subscribers, like right around there. And I just can't thank you guys enough for sticking around and subscribing. And if you haven't yet, well, let me tell you, make sure you spank that like button, make sure you spank that subscribe button. And yeah, again, thank you guys for watching. The world's pretty crazy right now, so, make sure you stay safe, make sure, you stay kind to others, and, like I said, or like Spike said, don't leave things in the fridge, please, for goodness sake. Gosh, dang it, just ugh.